Hi, everybody. It's Amy. Welcome back to Building Memories. Today is episode 11. And in today's episode, we're going to do some video footage of this past week's construction progress. And we're going to look ahead, looking at the upcoming milestones for the project as we inch closer and closer every day to opening day. Woo, it's so exciting. So let's go ahead and get this kicked off. And so for those who may be joining for the first time, again, my name is Amy. My family and I are building Standing Pines near Hartsville, South Carolina. We're about 30 minutes away from the intersections of Interstates 95 and 20. And we're about 15 minutes from downtown Hartsville, which is a college town with Coker University. Phase 1 of Standing Pines opens this year. Grand opening December 1, soft opening, which means we may not have all staff hired. We may not have all construction done, but we'll be open for business October 15th. And reservations are now available if you want to book your first trip, www.campstandingpines.com. As you can see here, we'll open in phase 1 with 83 RV sites, 14 tent sites, and 12 rentals. That'll be a mix of rental RV, cabins, and glamping. So it's super excited. And really, as we get closer and closer, and I can see the picture of this coming together in my mind's eye better, I can't wait to welcome you for your first stay at Standing Pines. So let's talk about that timeline just a little bit. Last week, I shared this as we had been looking the last 2 episodes back at the first 6 months of construction. And now we're looking ahead to what needs to get done and what some big milestones will be. So this past week, actually, we started the underground utilities installation, and we'll take a look at some of that work in some of today's construction update videos. And we are working through some issues with DHEC, but at this point we've scheduled the pool groundbreaking for the second week of June. So crossing fingers for that, and certainly if we wind up being on track for that, that'll be the subject of that week's episode. In fact, I was kind of thinking this morning, there's a reasonably good possibility that after next week, most of the episodes will focus on either groundbreaking or kind of a ribbon cutting as we start to actually finish some of these amenities and things for our guests. So, I may be ambitious. I may be a few weeks ahead of schedule, but I would certainly suspect come June, it'll be more a steady stream of, yay, look what we finished this week that I get to show you, instead of, hey, look, more dirt, because that's still kind of sort of where we are. So in July, a big part of the work will be the subgrading of the roads and the electrical tie-ins. I think August for the Welcome Center is probably a little optimistic. I suspect that's going to be more like September. And I think September for the pool may be a little optimistic. We'll see. October for soft open. So that's kind of the core milestones, the key things. And we'll revisit this again in a little bit. Okay, before I jump into last week's progress and showing you what I went around and filmed this morning, I did want to touch base on the Welcome Center because I don't feel like I've done this justice in prior episodes. You can see in the bottom lower left-hand corner there an image of the Welcome Center. This is from about 2 weeks ago at this point. And so that large opening is going to be a double door, primarily a glass door with windows above it for light. And that will open directly into the camp store area on the floor plan here. The smaller openings on either side are the windows, and there will be one window in front of the check-in desk and one window in front of the office. And so the window in the front of the office is really designed that way to keep an eye on traffic flow in, so that if we wind up having a number of guests coming in at the same time, we can kind of pull people around to help with check-in to make sure that we don't have any traffic jams at the front of the park. That's also just a great place to kind of be in the middle of everything. But more, what I really wanted to show you was both visually kind of what the Welcome Center is looking like these days, since we've shown you really the entire progress there, but also just to look at what's going to actually be in this building. So you can see from the floor plan, this is where the camp store will be. This is registration, our indoor dining, the media center. And I think that's going to be a popular place. I really do, with the seating and the TVs and the games and just a lot of stuff right there. Snack bar, including the service windows, so you don't even have to come in the building if you're at the pool and having a good time. You can just order right at the window and have your food handed right to you. We'll also have the laundry in there. Storage is probably not going to ever be something guests see, but it is an important item for us. And then you can also see here about the private bathrooms. And in total, including the 4 private outdoor showers, we'll have 6 showers and 5 toilets in this area, and an additional bathhouse is planned. So really, I just wanted to kind of give a sneak peek of what all is actually going to be there at the Welcome Center and how it'll be laid out. Next week, I expect we'll probably do a little bit more of a walkthrough here. Interior framing has just started inside, and it's a bit of a mess this week. But next week, I think we'll be at a point where I can actually do a walkthrough inside, and then this will maybe make just a little bit more sense as we start seeing how it's going to look in real life. Alrighty then. So let's go ahead and jump into some videos from this morning. I did do some talking on these videos, so I'm going to mute myself now and show you what it looks like today. Hello, it's Tuesday morning, May the 8th, and I am coming to you right now from the field. You can see that I am out after a rainy night with a gorgeous sky behind me to do a little bit of an update from out in the field, because we haven't done one of these in a while. So I'm going to just step here to the side, a little out of the way. We are back in the second rec area at the moment, and we're looking back towards the front of the campground. Okay, so that was me this morning, trying to show just a little bit about what we have going on there in the back. It did cut out a little abruptly. There's a bit more of that video that I may share another time that does a walkthrough of the drain field, and I'm explaining about some of the kind of the technical engineering that went into that, as well as doing a walk over to the trailhead area. So that doesn't exactly fit in today's video, but I'll be happy to share it with you as a bonus if anyone's interested. Just do a comment. Let me know if you want to see it, and I'll be happy to share that separately as a little bit of a bonus video. So let's go on to some of the other video I recorded this morning to show some progress. Here's one where I was driving from the back recreational area, what I'm starting to call Rec 2 in my head, over to the pond, and then to some of the very exciting underground utility installation. In the reflections video, I spoke about how the first 6 months of construction very often seem to be like just moving dirt, essentially, like to explain, with a ginormous 35-acre sandbox. And while that side work, their work is going to continue for some period of time, we are really starting to see some of the project in the phase of construction with the Welcome Center. And most importantly, perhaps, what is the critical path for this particular construction project with the subgrading of the roads and the installation of the underground utilities. Because while we're certainly doing this part of this full hookup part for all our RV sites, that does pose some of its own challenges in terms of it just creates a lot of work to do during construction. Totally worth it, and I'm hoping our guests will find it so when they come to visit. Okay, so here's a look at the current state of the pond. You can see even with a good bit of rain in the last 24 hours, I'd say a good bit, maybe a quarter of an inch. There's a little bit of water there, but that's going to drain very quickly through the sand. So we are now at the point of trying to establish what type of liner we use so that we can get this to hold water and eventually fish. So let's kind of continue the driving toward here. And here's a couple of the folks on the team this morning already hard at work. So that was a little bit of driving around, showing off just a little bit of the progress. I've got one more short clip for you. Let's take a look at how the outside of the Welcome Center is looking these days. But wait, there's more. Indeed, there is more. I forgot that I wanted to show you just a little bit of the progress on the outside. We've shown the progress on this building from when my husband and I first actually literally brought a stick and some measurements on the first day of January and drew out the floor plan on this spot where the foundation dirt pad was built up, where the foundation was poured when we first started framing, and now the inside. So what I want to come back and show you a little bit today is the outside and some of the touches that have been done over the last week or two since I last showed you. You can see that the corner trim, this pretty green, has been added to the building. The windows and doors have been trimmed out in the same green, and that's what we did the gutters in as well. This particular wall, you may notice, has no windows and no doors, and that is very much by design. I'm going to swing around from this wall to Bethlehem Road. So while this is our construction entrance, it will be much larger when we open for our guests. So what is important is that this is the point of entry, and you can see a point of entry. The very first thing you're really going to see is the Welcome Center. The same local artist, Rebecca Powell, who's doing the illustrations for the Forest Friends books, the characters, the animal characters for Standing Pines, has agreed to do a mural on this wall for the campground. So the first thing that you'll see really as you're driving past will be a large mural on this wall with Rascal the Raccoon and his forest friends. Quite excited about that, and look forward to seeing that when it's done. So shout out to Rebecca. Thank you again for the amazing artwork that you're doing for Standing Pines and the Forest Friends. Really appreciate it. Yay, Rebecca! So I think it's going to be super cool to see that artwork up on that wall. I know that I plan to take some pictures there and post it on social media. I'm hoping other guests find that a great place to just kind of take pictures to mark their fun at Standing Pines after we open. Okay. So again, today is really projections. Onward toward opening day. And I wanted to spend some time talking about some of those key milestones a little bit more. Here's that timeline that I showed you earlier in the video, and you'll probably see this show up in several videos for the next 4 to 6 months as we continue onward towards opening day. Again, I did mention I think some of those dates are they're going to change. I mean, we're going to do our best to make them, but I suspect that some of the dates are going to be sooner than we planned. Some are going to be later than we planned, and all are based around that October 15th opening day for soft opening. So one of the questions that kind of came up when another potential campground owner was talking to me was, how are you managing this project? And so one of the tools the general contractor and I are using is just a very basic Excel spreadsheet. We've got every subpart of the project broken down, and then all of the weeks kind of lined out across the top, and then the different kind of work, the plumbing, the electrical, the site work, in different colors. So it's color coded. So we can scroll up and down or across and look to see all of the different subcontractors who are scheduled to be here any given week between now and opening, and what type of work they're supposed to be doing. Now, this is very much a living document. It changes because things change. We're currently on delay with framing the interior of the Welcome Center because there was an issue with the showers that we picked out. And until those showers actually arrive, we're kind of on hold for plumbing because we need the showers for the framing for the interior walls, which we need to do the plumbing and electrical. So happily, the Welcome Center is not a critical path. It's not, these delays there are not going to hold up opening for us. So it's okay. It's just, you know, thankfully there's a tool that we can look at and keep the thing organized so we can say, okay, here's the impact of those 2 shower pans, it's probably going to turn into a 2-week impact on the entire project. And that's just one example of kind of some of the levels of details in this little sneak peek that I'm offering you, and how we're managing through some of that. On the positive side, again, as we're projecting ahead, onward towards opening, there are some key dates coming up. Even with the kind of the delays that we've seen with the Welcome Center, I do expect that by the end of May, the interior framing will be complete. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean the electrical and the plumbing will be complete. That'll be work that happens in June, but the interior framing will be done to let that next phase of the construction for the Welcome Center start. By the end of June, we anticipate having all of the stormwater pipes in under all of the roads. So that bit that you saw this morning as I was filming the crew installing the pipe, that work should go for the next 6 weeks, really. And it's exciting to think about that being complete. That is a huge, huge chunk of work and a major milestone when we get there. There's some additional work for the pond. Obviously, I mentioned the liner in the video this morning. There's also some additional drainage and environmental control features that need to go in the pond. So in addition to the very visual thing, which is getting it to hold water, because I get that, that's what I'm looking at visually. There's a fair bit more kind of construction detail kind of things that we need to do to make sure that we're complying with our permit, and that we're really doing what we need to do to take care of our environment here. So more to come on the pond. I do think we'll see some stuff by the middle of July. Let's see. 1st of August, I anticipate the whole sewer system being complete for the entire park. That includes all of those 83 RV sites with full hookups. Yay, full hookups. Plus the dump site, because the regs require dump site even if you have full hookups everywhere. So there you go. We'll have one. And then August 15th, optimistically, and that is really optimistically, that's assuming everything flows well and we don't have any additional issues that impact the timeline for the Welcome Center, we could open the Welcome Center as early as August 15th. But we're not actually scheduled to be connected to the overall electrical system until September 15th. So I suspect that we will not open the Welcome Center to the public until September 15th, when, we have air conditioning and other things for guest comfort. And that's obviously a month before the campground itself is scheduled for soft open. What we're currently thinking, and this is subject to change, y'all, so, please let me know in the comments below if you feel strongly about it one way or another. But what we're currently kind of toying with is, if all goes according to plan, then about the middle of September, we would open the Welcome Center and do some previews from the Welcome Center. We could maybe start testing out our snack bar a little bit. We could do a little bit of tests of what we've got. But more importantly, that's where we could organize some tours. So even if we're not open to guests at that point to stay overnight, that's when we're starting to think that would be available to do some community preview tours, some future guest tours, some stakeholder tours. So just keep that in the back of your head. It's certainly not official or set yet, but if you feel strongly that opening the Welcome Center to the public to do this kind of preview before we open the park would be a good thing, again, please leave me a comment. The only reason to do that is to do it for our guests. So if it matters to you, please let me know. It's a little bit more work on our end that we're happy to do. We only want to do it if it's something you want. We don't want to do it just to do it. So on the other side, camping should be fun. And that means there should be a lot to do when you're camping. And so in addition to all of the construction and getting all the infrastructure and all the underground utilities and the campsites level and all of the things that need to happen on the construction side, there's also this really fun side of the build where we get to do the amenities and the attractions. So again, these dates may change a little bit, but when I was talking earlier about, hey, I can see coming that we're going to hit just a stream of every week going and doing, hey, look, the dog park is ready. Let's go look at what the dog park actually looks like. Okay, this is the point where I get super excited because I can see that coming. We're not quite there yet, but we're so close. And I won't read through this list for you of the different amenities and when we are now expecting them to be done. But I do think it's super exciting to see this and to share this. And I'm very, very, very curious about what you think. I really am hoping to get some comments from you, some suggestions on the attraction and amenities that we're doing. Is there something here you're more excited to see than something else? We do still have a little bit of room to play with some of the timing on this. So if I get a lot of comments that say, what's the gem mining? What are you going to do with mining? What, Amy, what's that? We may actually be able to move that up a little bit and share it a little bit sooner. The other possibility, just depending on how things go, and again, this is a possibility. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I don't know if it'll make sense or not. But depending on how construction goes and how fast we get these things built, there's at least the chance now that we could open some things like our mini golf or possibly that gem mining to the public before the park itself opens. And so we have those day passes set up in our system. And then it would just mean that those who would like to come and do not just a preview walk around, but preview, go play a putt-putt, go play on the playground, go walk their dogs at the dog park. There's a possibility that come August, give or take, we could open enough to do that for the local community. So again, really looking for some feedback and some comments. Y'all let me know what you think about that. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Are we inviting more than we know? You know, just let us know what you think so we can start getting a sense of what to plan for, if you would. All righty. Well, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for today. I do want to invite everyone, if you're not already part of the community, please join the Facebook community. It continues to grow at over 1,600 followers now. Yay! That is awesome and super exciting. We want to continue to grow that so people know about Standing Pines, this really cool new upscale RV resort we're building for the community. So if you haven't joined yet or you haven't followed us there on Facebook, please do. Please share it with your friends who like to camp. That's the only way we're going to get this word out. If you want to see more of these prior videos, this is the 11th, so there's 10 in the series before this now. Those are available in links at the main website, www.campstandingpines.com. And that's also where you'd go if you wanted to go ahead and make a reservation. We do have reservations rolling in. That remains very, very exciting, and are looking forward to more. And really, I just can't say enough how much myself, my family, the entire team is looking forward to the day when we can actually open the doors and welcome our guests in to Standing Pines Resort, where you get to discover memories together. Again, this is Amy. Thank you so much for staying tuned for the whole episode today. Please remember to leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about our planned amenities. Let me know what you think about timeline. Really, please let me know what you think about us trying to maybe open some of the amenities for day passes before we open the resort. That's perfect timing. There's a call. I got to go. Catch y'all soon. Bye. Hello, my friend.